Hey guys, what's going on? Time for a little Jays talk. I'm just going to be recapping the game between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Toronto Blue Jays. I just quit watching now. There's two outs in the top of the ninth. Game is pretty much wrapped up. Jays are currently down 9-2. But yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts on how the game was. Most of the starters are pulled by about the sixth inning, pretty much at the latest. So you get most of what you need to know by that point. Andres Gimenez looked really good batting leadoff. He swung at the first pitch of the game. I don't always agree with that, but it's a spring training game, and yeah, if you get given a good pitch that you like, why not swing at it? I guess the guys have enough scouting reports in that. It's not like it was back in the day where you're taking pitches to see what the guy has. Everyone has a pretty dialed in approach now and a pretty dialed in game plan against the pitcher that they're facing when the regular season comes around. That is. Bo Bichette looked fantastic, roped the ball to right field, did the typical Bo Bichette kind of inside-out swing and driving the ball opposite field. Really like to see it. He looks like he's back to normal Bo Bichette. No concerns there. I haven't seen any reason for concern at all with Bo Bichette. Vladdy still struggling, trying to find it. Early days, so it is what it is. He hasn't looked great, but there's still plenty of time for him to figure it out. George Springer looked good. He roped the ball to left field. I think he turned on a fastball, I believe. It was or either that or a hard breaking ball. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, he turned on it and hit it hard to left field. Looked good. Alejandro Kirk continues to have good at-bats. He's he's taking close pitches. He's putting good swings on the ball. Really like what I'm seeing out of Kirky. Alan Roden shows 1 for 3. But one of his flyouts was absolutely crapped on. He roped the ball to right field, just smashed it. So yeah, he's continuing to be really impressive. He's swinging at the right pitches and he's not missing. He's really hitting the ball hard. He's making a strong push early days of spring training here to be on this opening day roster, and the way it's going, he's going to make it very difficult for them to keep him in Buffalo to start the season. Ernie Clement looked like your starting third baseman. He looks great defensively. He's got a good approach at the plate. He's doing Ernie Clement stuff. It doesn't look like last year was a fluke at all. I know there's people thinking that he may regress a bit, and last year was a bit of a ceiling for him, but that doesn't really appear to be the case. Nothing about his game seems fluky to me. You can't really fluke your way into, almost Gold Glove level defense. And yeah, pretty much everything he swings at, he makes contact with. So will he ever lead the league in on-base percentage? No, that's not really his game, but he makes a lot of contact, and he's very steady defensively. So I think as this continues to shape up, he's going to be your everyday third baseman, at least to start the season. And Heineman is still looking really good. Had another scorcher into right field. It was either yesterday or the day before that he was playing, and he ended up getting a ball caught on him in the outfield that he hit on a line, and today he hit a nice liner that dropped in. So his bat's looking good. He looks good behind the plate. For your backup catcher, he's looking fantastic, really. And I think that, you never know who's going to become available when camp comes to an end. But, yeah, right now, the Kirky-Heineman duo looks perfectly fine to start the season. Miles Straw is an interesting one because he looks very good in center field, whereas, we saw the Loperfido kind of misstep there yesterday. Just in terms of a sure-footed, sure-gloved center fielder, Miles Straw could have a role on this team. And the longer this spring goes on, the more it's starting to look like there's a path to him being on the opening day roster, which would have been quite surprising to me a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I think there's a role depending on how the rest of the bench shapes up. They might have room to carry, a defensive replacement center fielder. So yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on him. On the pitching side of things, Jose Barrios looked like Jose Barrios. He looked like, mid-season form. Great command, great stuff, made the hitters look pretty uncomfortable. And then, decent results. 2 strikeouts in 2 2/3, couple hits, a run, but, he looked really good. Brendan Little came in, looked really solid as well. And I believe that the announcer said that Brendan Little's been told he'll be on the Major League roster. I guess that kind of goes without saying. I'm surprised that they would openly tell him that, but it's pretty clear that he's at the front of that left-handed reliever competition. So yeah, not surprised to hear he would make the team at all. I'm just kind of surprised they would tell him this early. Zach Pop actually looked pretty good. I didn't have any issues with Zach Pop, and if he's some depth coming out of AAA this year, or even if he makes it as our last reliever to start the year, either way, he might get a little bit of run in the majors this year. Walker looked really good. There's another lefty that he had 2 strikeouts in a clean inning, so you love to see that. His stuff looks really good. He looked very composed. It's only spring training, so you might think nerves don't play into this, but when guys are fighting for their livelihoods and fighting for their dreams, and some of these guys, a bad spring, they get pushed down in the minor leagues, they don't know how many more spring training invites they're going to get, so there is stress on some of these guys. So for Walker to show up and look unfazed and to just execute was nice to see. Barnes came in after him. None out. He failed to record an out, let up 3 earned runs, a walk, 2 hits. Not what you want to see. I thought Barnes' stuff looked pretty good. Like when he came in, he threw a fastball out, like right off the top, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's got a live arm. I liked the look of the pitches, but then he just wasn't fooling anybody, and he wasn't really locating. So it wasn't. I don't want to be too harsh on a guy for a reliever because it's one outing, it's a few batters faced. It's just really tough if you're going to write a guy off after such a short sample size, like one bad day. But stuff looked good. I'd like to see him get out another few more times in the spring training here, and then he's likely headed for a Buffalo role or something like that. But yeah, I liked the stuff. I won't write him off just yet. Lovelady, kind of the same thing. He didn't look great. Stuff looked all right. I believe he was the one that hit Harper, not Fluharty. Yeah, he hit Bryce Harper, missed by a mile there. Was a little bit flustered, let up a couple hits, let up a run, got hit around a little bit. Again, not a good day for him, but it's spring training, one outing. Again, I'm just not going to write a guy off for one outing. It was not a good first step for sure. He'll obviously have to improve on that, but we'll see what he's got. Fluharty kind of upset me. He's a guy that I've been thinking would be on the bubble to make the bullpen as our second lefty. If we go with a second lefty, I think probably Ryan Yarbrough has now taken that spot. But Fluharty feels like one of the guys that's right there on the cusp. And for him to come in and hit 2 guys, just not what you want to see. Like some of these guys we've been cheering on that have been in the organization for a few years, you want to see them come in and hit the ground running the way that an Alan Roden has, the way an Orelvis Martinez has. You want some of these pitching guys to do the same thing and kind of take the reins, and he just didn't. But he's going to get another handful of appearances at minimum, so there's lots of time for him to kind of continue to prove himself, and I think he will ultimately do that. Gowdy, if he's up in the majors this year, that's a problem. He's depth. If we somehow run into a string of injuries, he might factor in, but I don't see it this year. And Burnett looked really good. Jimmy Burnett, I think is his first name. He looked really solid. He's got a funky delivery, kind of throws sidearm. All right velocity, a bit of a different look. I'd imagine he'll be a AAA guy. He's got back end of the bullpen kind of stuff, just with the funky delivery and everything like that. I would imagine in the minors he'll be kind of a setup guy. So yeah, I'm interested to watch how his season goes, but I don't know how much he's going to factor into the major league club without injuries. So those are my takeaways from today. Jimenez continues to impress. Bichette continues to impress. I'm not worried about Vladdy, but he hasn't really done anything yet. George Springer looks good. Kirky looks good. All these guys that are going to be your regulars are looking really solid. They're looking like they're already in season form, which is really nice to see. Like they are clearly focused and they are hitting the ground running. Alan Roden, as I mentioned, continues to impress. He's really forcing their hand. And if some of these guys like Lo Perfido and Nathan Lucas and Will Wagner, like if they're not careful, Alan Roden is right there, and he's either going to win one of these spots for opening day or he's going to be up on their heels weeks into the season, not months. So yeah, very nice to see a guy forcing management's hand like that and really running with the opportunity he's being given. So yeah, that's really where I'm at right now. Let me guys know what you guys have been observing, what your thoughts are, anything surprising you. Do you think anyone's really either fumbling their spot or earning a spot? Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your guys' perspective, okay? We'll talk to you guys later.